Hello, my friend. Someone else was going to talk, but some of what had to say, well, they decided they needed a voice with a little more explanation to it. That's my way of saying punch. Because you see, the question before me today, my friends, is how do you get out of the matrix? Now, ever so quickly, they call me Mr. Zazoo. I am, and I am not of your earth, but I am visiting. I'm not really allowed in the system, but I can voyeuristically, if you like, watch on the sidelines, the way so many of us do, watching the game, just like when you go to a football game. But this game is far better, far better. And then sometimes I get to come through and have a little experience, which is interesting, and share a little, answer some questions that my friends have. So, what is the matrix? And that is, when that was brought up, that is the question where the answer needed to be a little sharp, if you will, because you see, ironically, in order to get out of the matrix, which you can also call, my friends, the Maya, the illusion, the dream, whatever pleases you, it's all the same. If you're in the rat race, you're in it. And so the question really begins with, well, what is that matrix? What is that rat race? And you see, my friends, if you ask me, like a therapist, I will throw it back on to you. What is your rat race? What do you think is the rat race? Because unpopularly so, I will say, for women, the rat race might be being oppressed as women. For people of a certain race or belief system, that may be their rat race. In other words, you think, no, Mr. Zazoo, humanity is this way. For example, they're prejudiced, and they shouldn't be. And I'm saying to you, it just depends on where you are, what prejudice or oppression you think you're experiencing, because that is your rat race, isn't it? In other words, one person doesn't know what is occurring on the other side of the planet, or maybe next door. For some, that matrix might just be being a child at home with abusive parents. Parents are bad. You should banish all of them. Is that an answer? Of course not. Groups that are against another group, you should banish them. Is that an answer? You're going to try to do an awful lot of banishing, and there's going to be no one left in the rat race. They'll all be in jail. If you understand what I'm saying to you, my friend, I'm saying that on the one side, what you consider to be the matrix, what your illusion of difficulty, problems, insurmountable issues is different than someone else's. That's very important to know, because when you know that, you start to access your ability to get the key and get yourself out of jail, so to speak. Also, hopefully, you sit and you say, no, Mr. Zazoo, this is oppression. This is prejudice. That isn't. They're wrong. They're wrong. I'm right. They're right, and they're wrong. And at that point, hopefully you'll start to go, no, wait, they're wrong. And you'll start to realize that it doesn't make sense and that you are acting like you are in a maze, caught in that mouse trap, because you are just going nowhere. You're busy, you're going crazy, perhaps chasing your rat tail, but that is a surefire sign that you are in that matrix, in that dream. So, what your tail chasing is and what someone else's is different. So, number one, what is your experience of hell? And again, you might say, no, Zazoo, my life isn't hell. Sure, they're prejudiced and they're wrong and they do things but my life isn't hell. I say to you, great. Then there's no problem, is there? But if there is a problem, if you are sitting there and going, I get the sense that something of dominion, something where I'm living in the flow, something where the universe is supporting me, and I have a sense of that. That life where I have a question and the answer comes, that kind of life, that magical kind of life, which has nothing to do with anyone else. It has everything to do with how I'm experiencing life, how I relate with life, the problems I have, how they solve, how that experience is totally different. If you are sitting there and saying, that's how it should be, that resonates more, that's what I want to experience, then now we are talking about getting out of the so-called matrix, I call it the rat race, and into a different world. My friends, I like to talk about three worlds. Now, the movie The Matrix is a great way of visualizing, conceptually understanding that rat race, that illusion, that Maya. But one problem is that it separates that matrix world and their quote unquote real world. And it is done because the idea is that the matrix is a program. But the thing about it is, you have to understand that the old proverb, chop wood, carry water, it is something like become enlightened and then chop wood, carry water. That says there is no getting out of one world and into another, but rather they are one in the same. So if it is, my friends, that I'm talking about three worlds, I am talking about a small matchbox, which is what I like to call the rat race, a larger world, the matchbox is in it, and then an even larger world. But they occupy, so to speak, the same space. Why? Because if you get out of the rat race, out of the matrix, is your home magically going to cease to exist? And are you going to be on another planet? No. If you become enlightened, a word that's thrown around, but if you become enlightened today or tomorrow, are you going to go to work the next day? That option is yours. But why wouldn't you? Enlightenment doesn't mean now we can place a judgment upon you. You are better than chopping wood and carrying water. No. The worlds exist within each other. So you can say that getting out of the matrix has nothing to do with exiting your problems. It has everything to do with living according to a different set of universal laws. No longer living according to that rat race where fear, competition, being held down are the norm, and moving to a different world, that second world, where you monitor yourself, where you are living by that know thyself, and you have discovered the magic of I am. You have found your power in yourself, the only place power truly exists. After all, once you die, whether you are, gruesomely spoken, a slave that is whipped to death, and someone seems to be powering over you, once you die, you'll come back because you are eternal. But is that power in existence any longer? No. Is your ability to be in power continuing to exist? Absolutely. My dramatic point is that true power is just like you, eternal. You have a sense of that, don't you? A false sense of domination, yes, it can do damage. I didn't say it couldn't. There's a part of you that feels like the world should be fair. It is a rat race. By definition, it isn't fair. But a part of you thinks it should be fair and not have domination. And yet domination is what rules. So when you stop and you say, all right, matchbox domination, getting out of the matchbox, finding my I, getting a hint that power is in I, that personal power is the only eternal power, and coming to say, maybe not just should I know myself, know thyself, but maybe I should know what my power is. What do I want power over? When you are wise, the answer is myself. As you do, as you come to know yourself, as you recognize that any spiritual mystery school of universal laws will tell you, you will develop an awareness of yourself, of your patterns, of your behaviors, of how you chase your own tail, of how you can stop chasing your own tail. Because, my friends, when you take that kind of power and you say, wait a minute, maybe the rat race as an illusion can be broken. Maybe claiming myself, my power, means removing the power I have given away to everything outside of me, coming to I am, and therefore, if you are hurting me, I am going to say, I am in an energy that is allowing myself to be hurt. What is the best way to change myself, to change myself, to change my energy? Now you are taking ownership by acknowledging yourself, by being aware of yourself. You are becoming empowered because you are saying, I can control you by controlling my own energy, by taking responsibility for my own energy, my own patterns, my own karmatic energy, myself. And if I take that responsibility, that means I own myself. And now I become unstoppable. No, it doesn't happen overnight, but it starts to. you can start to see changes, my friends, very quickly, very quickly. Because when you whip the power away from outside of you and you take it into yourself, there is an energetic shift. When you sit and you say, this person bullying me, for example, if I'm going to own it, there is something in me attracting it. I'm going to look at what I have going on. Now, watch, try it. Whether it is your boss being mean to you, whether it is a bully, whether it is your spouse putting you down, whatever it is, practice those words. I'm going to whip it away from you, put it right here and own my energy. Look at my game, my rat race, how the energy I am. It starts to shift your world. You, if you can sense energy, will start to sense a shift. You will start to sense your own power coming into you, that energy that is rightfully yours but was previously given away or unclaimed. But Mr. Zazoo, I never put it out for sale. I never gave it away, and yet there it is. So instead, don't figure anything out. Don't argue with yourself because I can't really hear you. Try it. Claim that energy. Make a change. See what that energy is lacking and be the magician that you are. Be the empowered magician that you are. Be the alchemist you are meant to be. Bring the energy that is needed. It isn't easy. Sure, if it was, 8 billion people would be doing it. But you can. How do I know? Because you're listening. So you say, I'm going to see what this energy needs. Now, I have friends that will tell you that the energy always needs love, acceptance, or approval. It is an exceedingly simple and powerful recipe, quite powerful. So you can look at it and say, I was being bullied. Here's the energy. Does this energy to enhance, to empower ourselves, to not be weak but strengthen, to raise in frequency? Does it need love, acceptance, or approval? And I will bring that. I will become that love, acceptance, approval. I will bequeath that with my word. I will bequeath that with my own blessing, because these are all a part of your magic. I will because I just said so. And there is the magic of I said so. Because I can, because I am going to change energetic addresses, not physical addresses. You don't need to change your house. If you want to do that later on, sure, by all means. But change energetic addresses, energetic worlds immediately. Own it, really own it, and you start. You start to give yourself a way out of the matrix. And then, my friends, what happens is you'll notice that the stars shift, the scales tip, things change, and that bully changes. Now, it's true, that bully might go away or might come back a little harder. If they come back a little harder, laugh, my friends, and say, a better opportunity for even more of my power. Because look at what it did last time. I affected change. I caused the mirror to change. Yes, it got worse, but that's just because it's biting. But the truth is, you see, you have to speak the language of energy and you have to know the truth. And if you don't know what it is, just ask me. I know. So the truth is, the reason the bully is going to react, the reason you affected a change, and it might feel worse, but what is the illusion really bringing you? More energy, a bigger piece of pie, if you will. So acknowledge that, because if you want to change addresses, world addresses, that is what you need to be aware of. It can be something that is a positive change that is more pleasing to you. It can be a negative change that calls your attention even more. It doesn't matter. What you need to be aware of, my friends, is if you have a pattern, the bully comes, the bully comes, the bully comes, and the same thing happens over and over. And then all of a sudden you own your energy, you refine it, you enhance your energy, and that causes a universal shift, at least in your world, and the bully changes for good or bad. You have now seen your power in action. You actually saw your energy affect the universe, the matrix, if you will. Should you back off? I wouldn't. This is the universe saying, great job. I'm going to give you more, an opportunity for more. Let's give you another chance to change your address, your world address. Let's give you a chance to get even more into that second world. In that second world, my friend, you do learn to monitor energy. You are more aware of yourself, and you discover every day with every step that you are. How do you finish that sentence? You are. I am my power. I am my ability. I am in charge of my life. I am in charge of my energy. It is endless when it is I. Now, if you want a nice rule of thumb as to how to practice this second world more, how to anchor yourself, so to speak, in the second world so that you can move into it more and more, leaving the domination behind, which will still occur, but it won't happen to you. Why? Because your energy will be different. How do you anchor yourself more and more? You become selfish. Selfish. Now, let me clarify, although it is so much fun to say. If you don't think you are the greatest person, look again. You are the only person you are with 24/7. You are the only person that you know that intimately. Therefore, your favorite person should be the one you know best. It is the one whose power you are. It is the one you are. It is your connection to the universe. Who else? Who else can get rid of your bully, can affect the universe, the illusion, by owning your power? No one. That simply has to be the best person. You have to come to that. And it doesn't mean that you judge others. You're less than. No. It means that you come to have an appreciation, a love, an admiration for yourself. Because then, my friend, you have an investment in yourself. You understand that you are the center of your universe, not anyone else's. In that selfish stance, you are focused on you. So you can't judge others because you are focused on you. If you judge others, you're going back to the rat race. You have to stay focused on yourself, and you stay focused on your I am. So if you are having a problem, your world becomes, I am having a problem. Not, this person caused me a problem, that happened, and no. That is back to giving all of yourself and your power away. And as you monitor energy, you will feel this. When you say that person, that, you can feel yourself throwing your energy at them instead of owning your own energy. I'm not saying steal their energy. I'm not saying steal anything that's not yours. You don't need to, because you are huge. You are more vast than you could ever really own, with few exceptions, because there are some masters out there. But generally speaking, there is no point, because your energy is the energy you use. That's your power. That's what belongs to your favorite person. So you become selfish. I am having this experience. If I like it or don't like it, I have to decide how to evoke the next change, how to raise my own energy, how to experience what I want to experience. If I want to experience working with the universe, being in the flow, having more things work out, working through the challenges and problems that are a part of life and are meant to come, but working through them with greater and greater ease, with more and more solutions coming, instead of not being able to figure it out, then I have to be selfish. Selfish, again, it is my challenge. It is my dream. It is my everything. And now, my friends, you are changing addresses. And as I said, yes, the world of domination, that rat race, it still happens and it can affect you, but you won't be incarcerated. You won't be pinned down by it. Haven't you noticed people, for example, during the pandemic, that had great effect? Their lives were hung out to dry, and people who either had no effect or benefited somehow. And isn't that the gamut of what happened? Of course it is. That is not new. That is what has happened throughout your time. There are always both ends. And if you want to go from the rat race end to that second world that you are a co-creator in, then you must be selfish. When you think about it, in the rat race, they tell you not to be selfish. They tell you not to think about yourself. You're supposed to think about all the other problems, all the other people. And it is a great way of making sure that your power isn't right here, right now. So in that second world, you will get yourself out of the illusion. You will empower yourself. And my friends, your energy and your feelings will be so much lighter because you are the selfish person at that point who thinks that you are the greatest. Not that you would rub that in someone else's face, because that would be being aware of them and giving them your energy again. On the other hand, you will find that when you are aware of others and you assist others, when it comes from you and is an expression and an extension of you, not a sacrifice, not giving what you don't have, when you're overflowing and you're rejoiced to see a part of you in them. Look at, I'm wonderful and they're wonderful like me in this way. And you tell them or you help them, you will find yourself having your wonderful self reflected and perhaps increasing as well, because you are being selfish. I love what I see in you. And you don't say this to them. It is everything in my world. It is me. Isn't that how it is? All about yourself. When you live by this universal law, the law of self, you find that your energy creates its own gravitational pull, which is why you aren't hung out to dry during something like the pandemic, but you might benefit, not at the cost of another. It is just the way that the matrix is. It's not at the cost of another. Generally, those who are in the second world and benefit because they are benefiting another. Why? Because they're selfish. And when you are selfish and you are truly taking care of your power, you cannot help but benefit others. When you are not, and you do things that are detrimental for yourself, you cannot help but hang others out to dry. And if you don't see it now, my friends, watch very carefully. Watch people and watch their actions. The best leaders are those who lead from within and they share what they are. The leaders that hang others out to dry are the ones that think that they're doing something wrong and they should be brought to justice. Always trying to correct a wrong, which means that they are in judgment. Does that mean that there is no judgment in the second world? Sort of. You don't allow people to mistreat you, but you don't go into judgment about it. It is a different experience that you will find as you have those adventures. So you got it, my friends. Claim your power, be selfish, and you will find that as you take your energy and as you raise it, you're invoking change. You are shifting the scales of energy around you, and it will allow you to take even more of your own energy back. So don't monitor whether something happens that's good or bad. Just look for the opportunities that life brings you to take more of your own energy, to get yourself more and more into that second world where you are the star. You are the greatest. And every statement coming out of your mouth or in your thoughts should be, I am. I am wonderful. I am loving. I am miserable. I'm going to have to change that. I am causing myself these problems. It looks like it's from work. It looks like it's from this, but I am wiser now and I am taking it all because it is all mine. All those problems, all those wonderful things that I am. And that is going to make you rich in many ways, my friend. Until next time, it has been so much fun explaining to you why I am as wonderful as I am. And I'm sure that you are starting to see the light and starting to see that you, my friend, are as well. And what a wonderful thing. Just imagine if everyone became so selfish. They wouldn't bother other people and they would shine. They would just share their skills, their passions, because that's all they are. That's all they would want to do. Isn't that all you want to do? What a different experience that would be in the second world. And there are people living that way and living amongst others that way. Until next time, my friends.